Want to talk about the topics on the screen. Waiting for people to come in so that we can talk about the topics on the screen. Black men, racism, Andrew Schultz. Honorable mention the people that Charlemagne and the unnamed black woman that allowed themselves to be used as Negro props. With Andrew Schultz expecting sympathy for something that he brought on himself, acting like people should care about him and his family. Anywho, number one, in what world, this question number one is, in what world could a podcast where a white woman was bashing black people and black men or whatever, and black women went along with it and just cracked up laughing and co-signed the things that she was saying and said that it was comedy? I would venture to say 90% plus black women would never happen, and we have to unpack why that is. Number two, what has happened in society to where there are so many black men willing to be openly disrespected and dominated by people, non-black people, where they are so quick to advocate or, be on the side of people that look down on them. I saw so many people defending Andrew Schultz and his right to be racist. Why is that? Because him and men like him would never sit there and advocate for you to disrespect their community. Never. They would never do it. So I'm not understanding why in 2024 there's such an need for acceptance and validation from non-black people. Number three, how can we get the black community's respect or expect people to respect it when the men in our community are the main people that allow the disrespect? Because people don't respect women, nor do they think women are going to do anything out of pocket to gain respect. So if the men in the community are not doing it, how are we supposed to get it? Number four, today on my YouTube, a man told me that there's a war on black men, not black women. Although I don't agree with that, I would like to say there is a psychological difference between black men and black women when it comes to racism. And until we actually acknowledge that to be the case, there'll be no change even able to be made, because no one addresses that there are psychological differences between black men and black women. You can see it all day, every day on how we handle racism, how we handle discrimination, the things that we let slide, the things that they let slide, the things that we don't, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So anybody wants to talk about this, please send me a request to get in the box, and hopefully we can get some more people in here. This is my backup page. 3 times backup. Because this was controversial, I tried to start off on my backup page. If I cannot get people on here, I'll just go to my main page. But hopefully I can get some people willing to talk about it. And no, you don't have to agree with me at all. You don't have to. So it actually might be good if I could get some people that don't agree. That way we can have a discourse. Black men, black women, just hit me up, send me a request. I'll add you. That way you guys don't have to just hear my voice and what I'm saying. But I did want, I guess, an honorable mention topic. I did want to say the fact that Charlemagne made so many excuses for Andrew Schultz and his racism, because I think now everybody you can say anything and then you can say that it's comedy and then people act like it's comedy. Is it comedy if it's not humorous? Is it comedy if it's not funny? Is it comedy if it's not a observation that is hilarious? Let's see here. Let me stop Rise, who says we're still segregating. This country is genuinely stupid. You're stupid. Respectfully, you dumb. And the fact that you think that I care about your opinion is ridiculous. I know you're not black just because you said something so dumb. Let me go ahead and block you. Have a great day. Bye-bye. What I was saying is that I think it's very weird that, well, that person made me lose my train of thought. Hopefully I was talking about Charlemagne. Yeah. Or in comedy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think that it's crazy that you can say anything about anybody and call it comedy. It don't even got to be funny. I can say something racist about anybody and then turn around and say, oh, it's just comedy. Oh, it's just a joke. But it's funny that people accept the jokes when it comes to black people. Because if I made a joke about an historical event of the extermination of, let's see, a group of people from somebody named Hitler, and I said that it was a joke in comedy, would nothing be funny? I would be canceled. I would be getting attacked. I would be called a racist and a whole host of other things and threatened. It wouldn't be comedy. However, you have somebody that is not even in the culture able to come in and say things that are extremely racist and then turn around and say it's funny. You could be a white person joking about slavery. Oh, that's funny. Is it? Because if I said something about the Holocaust, it wouldn't be funny though. You wouldn't think that was funny. Okay? But for some reason, it's okay to joke about the pain of trauma of black people, but nobody else. Everybody else, we have to tiptoe on it. And I wish that people would realize that type of mentality, people that do things like that, do not respect black people at all. They don't. And there's no, oh, we can be cool. There's no, we can, no. Those type of people you need to get away from. And the fact that Charlemagne was sitting there, co-signing and helping this man rationalize something that should not be rationalized is crazy. Let's see here. Lisa Atkins. Lisa Atkins, let me tell you something. You're a 58-year-old, out of touch, white tea woman who don't know what she's talking about. You ain't black. So how in the world would you know something about anything? Let me block you. You're racist. And I need you to understand, white tea people calling black people racist don't mean nothing. I really wish y'all stop doing that. Y'all get offended when people call y'all racist. We don't care. Let's see here. I'm T-Pain says grow up and get a job. You get a job. Where you at? Because let me tell you something. I have a job. My job is social media. So you figure that out. You go slaving on whatever job you got. Okay? And I have a compassionate culture. Your culture is built on great instilling theft of intellectual property and underhanded behavior and having intercourse with animals. Like, that's your worldwide culture. So get real. Let me block you. And then got the nerve to call yourself T-Pain. You say that our culture is worldwide disrespect, and you're calling yourself a black man's stage name. Do you know how ironic that is? That's just ridiculous. Honestly, y'all prove my points in real time. You are the exact definition of what I'm talking about. Y'all hate black people but love to steal from them. You can't exist without stealing something from somebody black. And you look down on them because you cannot exist without the theft of everything that belongs to them. Let me block you. Like, ew. All right, you're blocked. I'm not going to talk to you. Jim Crow said, okay, I'm just going to block you. Bye-bye. I'm not even going to say nothing to what you said. You're just blocked. All right. Man, I blocked your Jim Crow. Like, somebody that will sit there and take the time to make a profile named Jim Crow and tell you that you should thank white tea people for raising you, which is ridiculous. Yeah, how can somebody that doesn't even wash their legs in the shower raise me to do anything? But I just think it's really weird that y'all create these racist profile names and then y'all want to say that black people are racist. Anyway, that person is blocked. That person is blocked. But anyway, I'm hoping that I can get some people Q says, why do you care about what the YT man says? I don't care about what the YT man says as far as taking it seriously, but I do think that there's a problem with allowing open disrespect, Q. You don't think so? Like, I send you a request to come up. You don't think so? You don't think that's a problem? You think it's cool for people just to disrespect you and your people on social media and to your face, and you're right there co-signing it, sitting there kiki and laughing with them? You think they would let you do that?
Well, I think they do let us do it. Black people talk shit
How?
about white people all the time. They don't fucking
Do
say
we
shit
what
about
do
us.
we do we talk about serious matters? Do we talk about like an issue? I can't really say too much, but like somebody what they did that rhymes with Hitler. Do we make jokes about that?
I'm not gonna lie, I have.
Okay, are you a public figure? What do you think would happen if you were a popular black comedian that the world knew when you said that? Do you think you still have your career?
So no, but let
Okay,
me ask you a
then.
question. Do you separate whites from Jews?
Okay, I
Are
do
those
not.
two different
I
groups of
do
people?
not. I do not. And there are certain things that you couldn't overstep. There is no difference. Why would I separate them?
So because they separate themselves when it comes to something like that. See,
They know they
because
also don't, because there are other things that you couldn't joke about as regards
let me
to
get a
white people as well.
let me get this vape. My bad, I'm in the store. Let me get this vape right here. Um,
But as
these
I
are
was saying,
all.
just
Yeah, that's
like
good.
the guy just said that he knows that they wouldn't allow him to do that. The fact that he would allow them to do something that they would never allow him to do is already self hatred.
So again, though, white black figures talk about white people all the time, all the time. Charlemagne
Okay,
the God,
you
all
using
the
that as
time.
an excuse is not good, because there were times when when white people could say, "Hey, no dogs here and no black people." So there's something that comes along with the continued discrimination and disrespect that black people have suffered here in the United States of America. That's the reason
Well, see,
why it's somewhat allowed to do that, and that comes that is a terrible price to be paid to have a sort of double standard, because I'm not going to say that I haven't seen that, and white tea people don't accept it. They just know that it's something that they may be called racist if they speak up about it, depending on what it is. But that's not an aha moment to say, oh, well, look at here, we can do this, because there are so many things societally, there are so many things in the fabric of society governmentally that we cannot do. So why in the world
but
would
what
you
does
sit there?
Andrew Schultz affect? To be honest, I don't know what he said. I just know everybody upset at him. But what does he
Okay, so if you
affect
don't know
though?
what he said, then why did you come up here?
You invited me up here. I didn't ask to
I
come up.
invited you up here because you were talking about it from the lens of protection. But I think that this is a good example to see a man that hears a black woman's voice speaking about racism, speaking about white people, and then you position yourself in a position of defense against them. I personally
I'm
think
not
that's
defending. I don't care
no, you
about
are,
white
you
people.
are,
My
you
thing
are.
is,
I
why
think
do
that's
we
a
care
mental
about the
issue.
shit that they say that has no effect on us?
It does have an effect on us. It's one of the reasons why black people don't have any respect. It's weak for you to get on a platform with somebody that is white tea and sit there and let them talk about the women in your community, let them talk about the black people in your community, let them say that Taylor Swift is better than Michael Jackson and all other type of foolish, crazy, dumb stuff. But then if you attempt to say anything, they on your head about it. That's weak. That's insane behavior. Like, for you to let a man joke about raping a black man on his platform, that's
Ooh, I'm glad
insane.
you brought that up because y'all didn't say nothing what Saucy Santana said he was going to do that to academics.
Okay, that doesn't
Ain't
make
nobody
any
say
sense.
nothing
And I'll
about
tell
that.
you why. That makes no sense. And I'll tell you why that doesn't make any sense. Number
Why
one,
not?
DJ Academic has a horrible reputation. He's been accused of rape two times by two different women. He has a horrible reputation as far as talking about black people, especially black American people. His whole foundation is a horrible piss poor character. Number two,
So
those
it's
are
okay to
two.
say
Wait
you're
a
going
minute,
to
I'm
grape
not
somebody
done. Number
if
one,
they.
those are two
Okay, my
black
bad, my
men.
bad.
Once again, those are two black men having an interchange, two black men arguing and going back and forth. That wasn't rooted in any type of racism at all. We're talking about a white T man with the history of buck breaking in America, going back and forth and degrading a black men. Not only degrading a black man, but doing it in front of a black man as he sits there and laughs and shucks and jives and tap dances. Then when he gets backlash for that, bringing two Negro props up there to make people feel sorry for him for apparent threats on his family. Who cares? I don't feel sorry for him, not in the slightest. Next time, shut your mouth. If you care so much about people going to your page on your kids' comments, making ignorant things, saying ignorant things. So that doesn't make any sense. Why would you even compare two black men getting into it to a white T man talking about that? Like, what? Yeah, explain to me. Explain to me that, please. And explain to me why you think that people would defend DJ Academy.
Because I don't make a difference between who's talking about grape. Grape is grape as far as I'm concerned. So if it's wrong for one person to say it, it's wrong for all people to say it.
You can say it's wrong to say it, that's fine, but these are two totally different issues. One was an argument, and one is something rooted in racism and something that black people sat there and co-signed by a black person being there.
What black people co-signed it?
Okay. It's so, let me ask you a question. When
What's
you
up?
when you decided to go in a live and you decided to speak up in defense, because that's what you're placing yourself in defense of a white man. Do you think that he would place himself in defense of you? Do you? Do you think the collective would or no?
No, I don't think they would. But again, I'm not defending anybody. If
You
y'all
are, you
upset with
are.
them, then y'all upset
Anyone,
with them. My whole thing is from the jump is, why do we care what a white man who has no power over your life says?
we
That's my
care
only
because
issue.
we care because he is a public figure, and he is openly disrespecting black people and black women, and he's allowed to not only do that with no consequence, but he's also having a platform that is mixed with black people. He has a podcast with Charlemagne. That's not
So is
the
that going to have an effect on your life, though?
Do you
That's
okay?
my only
If
thing,
somebody
and it
if
ain't got
somebody
nothing to do
came
with
up to you,
specifically
you have
him.
any
It's
children?
just
If somebody came up to you and said the worst things about your mom, the worst things about your kids, if you have any, the worst things about anybody that you care, and they said it, and they said, "Hey, I'm just saying it. It doesn't have any effect on your life," or they said it to your,
yeah, I wouldn't give a shit because it doesn't have an
oh,
effect on
okay.
my life. You say what?
Oh, okay, you're weak then. I got it. I got it. That's all I needed to know. You're weak. I got it. You're not a man. Okay. I got that. I understand that. And I think that
If
that is
that's how you look at it,
yes, it's exactly how I look at it. And I think anybody that has any intelligence would look at it the same way. And I do think for anybody that's
I think
listening,
I think that's one of
well,
black
this is
people's
something.
problems is that
Yes,
they
you're
always
you're
crash.
you're you're something that rhymes with cartoon. And I think that this is a perfect example, you guys, to take a look at what has happened to the state of some black men. They are completely conquered, completely buck broken, completely weak and spineless, to where they don't even see a problem with a person disrespecting them. They don't see a problem with somebody disrespecting their mom, their sisters, their wives, whatever. They don't have a problem with it because they are comfortable in the lane of being well, at least Master let me eat outside now. At least Master let me eat at the same restaurants and go to the bathroom and drink from the same water fountain. Who cares if he disrespects every now and again the culture and says horrible things about black women, like black women are out here abusing men and smacking them, and there is no black wife effect because black women are no good. Of course, if you're a black person and you think those type of discourses are okay with the things that have been said about black women, black men historically, and pushing false narratives forth, if you think that it's okay to allow those things to go on, I hold on. Who is this person right here? Corey. Corey
Hey, I
says,
appreciate you bringing me up. I'm gonna go ahead and
okay, have a
drop
great
back
day.
down. I'm just getting off work. You
All
too.
right. Have a great day. Let me block this Corey person. Goodbye. You're gone, Corey, because I would have blocked you sooner. Yeah. Yes. Mom in the shed, you said the issue with black men is they won't step for the community, but want to be leaders so bad. It's that, and it's a lot of other things. I just felt absolutely disturbed that this man really got up here and positioned himself in defense of white tea people. And you know what? I'm going to, when I upload this to my YouTube, I really would like people, because y'all will be listening to this. I want y'all to tell me, do y'all think that he was defending Andrew Schultz? Do y'all think that he was defending, the position? And if y'all do, y'all tell me what y'all think. Because seeing a black man in real time do that, I mean, it's not like I don't know that that happens, but it's really, really embarrassing. I have no idea what's wrong with them. Like it's scary to me. Like it's legitimately scary. Um, because what can you do as a man when you are completely conquered, completely buck broken? How in the world do you expect to be anybody's leader? Why would you be anybody's leader? Why would you be in charge? Why would anybody submit to you when you can't even defend or protect yourself or the community, or gatekeep the image of the community? I anyway, anyway here, let's see here. Like I said, I think that there is a fundamental psychological difference between the collective of black men and the collective of black women when it comes to racism and how they process it. Period. It's just that simple. Like saying like, oh, well, how does it affect your life? Well, if somebody goes in your face and disrespects you and they didn't put their hands on you, it's just a matter of respect. People shouldn't be allowed to disrespect you. But I mean, hopefully, I can have a conversation with somebody that actually knows what's going on, as opposed to they don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. Well, we'll see what people that I can get in here. But I think that when people talk about the state of the black community, how the black community is in shambles, or how, the crime in the black community, which is basically committed by black men, people always want to make it include us and call it the community when it's not the community, it's black men. I think that we have to have some tougher conversations and talk about the fact the main demographic that is allowing the disrespect of the black community, also pushing forth unhealthy stereotypes, and letting anybody come in and do anything. That is the men in our community, unfortunately. And seeing as though, women will say, oh, we can just separate from black men. You cannot. We are connected, even if only because when somebody goes forth and they have intercourse, you can create a black male or a black female child. And that is the case. So we are interconnected in the society regardless. And I wish that there was some way for us to make a separation, because this type of behavior that's allowed to happen is really, I feel like it makes the black community look bad. But I venture to say that the collective of black women would have never allowed any of this to happen. You know what I'm saying? Would have never allowed any of this to happen. How many black women do you really think, with the exception of like, people like Candace Owens, but they're in the minority of black women, would sit there on a podcast while a white tea man disrespected black people and made a joke about raping a man and be cool with it? Why? Let me know if y'all really think that would happen. Truthfully. And if you think that would not happen, you have to acknowledge. I'm sorry, I accidentally sent you a invitation.
Okay, no
Um,
problem.
but oh, is this a supervillain?
Yeah, I'm trolling with my name because somebody tried to send me some things so I can't participate on TikTok. I don't want to say the word on your live,
Oh,
so
okay,
I'm trolling in the name.
okay. I got you. I got you. I think that at some point we have to acknowledge that there is something different. We have been affected differently, black women versus black men, by racism. And I don't know. Let me block this almighty person. You're blocked. We have to acknowledge that there is a fundamental difference between us. Now, I don't know why there's such a difference between what we allow and what we don't, but there's definitely a difference. And until we can figure that out, I don't believe that I don't believe we'll be able to. You know what I'm saying? We'll be able to stop this trend of disrespect. And like I said, this is why I said earlier, as much as we would like to separate, when black men allow disrespect of them, the disrespect of us is to follow. Period. It's gonna happen. Um, so anyway, I wanted to talk about this. I wanted to talk about this, and hopefully I can get another man up here so we can really pick his brain about what about that was okay. And just the fact that this man said that Saucy Santana and DJ Academics going back and forth was the same was ridiculous. Like it wasn't even equal at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Um, let's see. Why this is also for people that may listen to this. Why do you think there is such a psychological difference between black men and black women when it comes to racism? Where do you think it comes from? Why do you think it's present? Because black women endure just as much disrespect, just as much abuse, just as much brainwashing um, as anyone else. Let's see here. This person, Scooby, says, I ain't reading all that. Nobody asked you to read it, Scooby. But you know what I can ask you to read? This block you about to get. Have a great day. All right. Oh, go ahead, supervillain. You can come up, sis. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, triggered. I'm back.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm laughing because of what you said about the block. Yeah, we could tell you weren't going to read all that. You didn't have to let us know. I was going to say to the answer about the psychological difference, and from my observation and my just study of my community, I'm going to say that black women have the unique knowledge that, at least in Western society or American society, that we are never going to be men and we are never going to be white tea. So we can operate accordingly and navigate our life accordingly by that. And that's the difference with black or I don't know if we can say black or BLK. It depends on what panel you are, but that's the difference between BLK men, because even though they're black, they still have that hope because they are men. They are male in society. So sometimes they'll like overlook something that's racist because they're men, not knowing that the same system that that oppresses them don't recognize them as full autonomous males in the first place. So black women know that we're not seen as male and we're not seen as white, so we can operate according to that. There's like no hope or leg to stand on. But black men have the male part that they're working on, but it's redundant because the society that is racist does not look at them as men, even though they are male. So that's kind of where I see where the psychological difference is a lot. Like they still hoping on that wish because they are men in a patriarchy, but the same patriarchy doesn't consider them. What did they say? 3/4 a man in the first place. So that's my answer to that. I yield.
Okay. Supervillain, did you hear the guy that was up here?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I just was checking. Yeah, he was up here. I asked him. I said, if somebody, because he was saying like, why is it a big deal that Andrew Schultz disrespected? He was saying, why is it a big deal? It doesn't affect your life. And I was saying like, disrespect, especially from somebody in a public platform, it does affect the community and stuff like that. And I was like, if somebody says something disrespectful to your mom, your family, or whatever in front of you in your presence, would you say anything? He was like, no. I was like, oh, okay, you're weak. Like, what? Why are we having this conversation? I just, it's mind boggles me that there are so many black men that are so willing to show the world their weakness and then complain about the way they're treated. If everybody knows that they can play in your face with no consequences, and not only can they play in your face with no consequences, you're going to rationalize why they disrespected you and somehow position yourself on their side. Why would you ever be able to make any type of um I guess advancements in your image, advancements in society? Because make no mistake about it, black people are at the bottom, and maybe black women on the very bottom, but as black men are right along there as well, just slightly above because they're men, and I just don't understand it. It's so crazy to me. It's just it's insane. Like it's
And can I notice? Can I say something I noticed too, which is I also am with you in the insanity and the monotonous about it, and even just thinking. And I really hate to go back into history, but sometimes you got to use it to prove a point. So that guy just said he wouldn't do anything if somebody insulted his mama. Meanwhile, they're going against a demographic of, or they have to, or they're not really competing, but they're quote unquote competing against a demographic of men who would burn a town down if something happened to one of their women. Is that not why Emmett Till was handled the way he was handled? They would do things like that if they ever thought a woman was being threatened by one of them. They're burning down towns. They're stringing people up like strange fruit, and then you have our demographic who wouldn't say nothing to protect their mama. Which is, I get the fear part, but last time I checked, like you said, we're considered at the bottom. So people who don't have much to lose should be the most dangerous. And that would be black men. What are y'all afraid of? Y'all have nothing to lose. Stand up for something. Yet they won't do it. Again, they're going against a demographic that will burn a town down if they ever thought a white tea woman was touched by one of them. This is history. I'm not making this up. This is documented in history. So that's a lot to think about.
I mean, I definitely agree. I've mentioned that principle as well. Of course, white T being doing that and stuff was rooted in racism, and it was wrong and horrible. But I do get your perspective on what you said, is that they're still willing to step at the end of the day, wrong or right, and I get it. And you can't get black men to step, even if they would be in the right for whatever responses that they would have. I totally get what you're saying. I struggle with it because I just find it to be embarrassing. And like I said earlier, is that at the end of the day, we can say that we're going to separate from black men or whatever, but we're still connected to the same group, and people still look at them the way they look at us. And I find it to be embarrassing and distasteful because there's just in no way, in no alternate universe, reality, this one, the next one, any one of the multiverses, would I ever in my life sit somewhere with a white tea woman as she disrespected black men, even though I don't feel like they should be defended. I wouldn't let it happen just because I know at the end of the day, when you're violating like that, you're violating all of us, black women included. So it's like, what I look like sitting there, tap dancing and letting you get it off and say things and get smart and do this and like, no, I just can't. I can't imagine it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna say this too. And when it comes to the white women, I do side eye because although all women are oppressed, it's not like white two women were there during, like, let's say slavery, shivering in the corner. They were definitely participating in some of the most extreme acts against our ancestors. So I'm always gonna have a side eye for that. The only time I can make an exception is when they're talking about things like being abandoned, like with children. I mean, that's a conversation that, I mean, all men do that, but black men have a particular propriety of doing that. So that's a conversation I would entertain, talking about being abandoned or being left as a single mother. Everything else, I'm definitely giving a strong side eye. And but to
I
earlier,
probably,
even though,
what? I don't think I could. I probably wouldn't discuss anything with them, just because I do feel like they also have a deep seated. racism, not only to us, but to black men too. They just, have brought into the buck, um stereotype or whatever, the bad buck stereotype. So I don't know. I probably couldn't. But go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Of course, and that's why I like having dialogues like this, because we all come from different views, and those views are either going to validate how we feel or give us a different perspective to look at something. It's always good to see the circle from every angle. You know what I mean? Oh damn, I kind of got thrown off. I forgot what I was going to say, but I'll spin the block. I'll come back when I remember.
Okay. Oh, I think you said that you would talk to a white tea woman about like abandonment. That would be like the only thing because
Oh,
that's what you said.
yes. Okay. It was. I was saying I would entertain a conversation when it comes to single motherhood. Like I'm just I'm gonna have to. Hey T, I'm just gonna have to be honest. I would entertain that conversation. Everything else, again, I'm side eyeing because, like I said before, white tea women were oppressed, but they weren't shivering in a corner during slavery. Like they were actively participating in hurting slaves or enslaved people. By the way, I did want to say, even with the example I brought up earlier about like Emmett Till. Um, and how like them burning down towns was rooted in racism. But I also want to say that's the very point, because everything was rooted in racism. They didn't have to wait for a black man to quote unquote touch a white woman to do something terrible. If you breathe the wrong way, they were gonna like string you up. But that's why I said it's important to understand, like, if they thought the threat was there, they was burning towns down. They were stringing people up for fruit. They didn't have to. I mean, at that time, they were very powerful. They didn't have to wait for you to do anything. You know what I mean? Like there has nothing had to happen, and they were still doing those things. So the threat against their women is something that made them go like gung ho. They were burning towns down. Meanwhile, again, I'll even say this to wrap it up real quick. Let's say Jewish men, right? They also and their people went through oppression. Do you see Jewish men now? Look at what's happening. You know what I'm saying in Palestine. Yes, they went through an oppression, and guess what? They made sure when they came out on the other end that their women and children will never, ever go through anything like that. Again, look at what they're doing in Palestine. It may not be right, but they making sure that nothing like that will ever happen to their women and children. And for that, I mean, I kind of give them respect. I yield there.
Okay, all right. Hopefully I'm thinking, but I don't know. I I wanted I'm gonna tell y'all, I guess I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I'm gonna have to tell y'all something, give y'all some tea. I asked for the perspective of black men to come up here and talk about why. But then when a man came up here and he was exactly the type of man that we're discussing, a broken, conquered man that is cool with people disrespecting black people because he doesn't feel like it affects his everyday life, which is weak. Because if there were people that were comfortable in their life circumstances when they were slaves, or they just say, well, it's not that bad, I'll go ahead and accept it, then we wouldn't have any rights or anything, you know. But I honestly, when I was talking to him, he literally turned my stomach. I felt so disgusted to even have the conversation, because it's just like, what's wrong with you? Like, you're a person that's walking, that is around, that is a brain dead, disgusting, sellout caricature of a black man, and you don't even know it. You think that what you said was profound, and it didn't. All it does is speak weakness. And there is a reason why, black men are the least respected male. And I have no idea why they never make that. I think a lot of times what they do is because they have women willing to bed them, or willing to fetishize them, or things of that nature, they turn around and um think that that is a wait a minute. Somebody send a request to come up. Whoever sent a request, y'all can send it back. Sorry. I was talking though. But I was about to add you. Whoever it was. I think that they confuse the desirability that some women have to bed them, or to, what is it, breed with them, that they consider that to be some type of masculinity, or that means that they're respected in society. And it does not. It does not. It doesn't mean that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like when people were in high school or college and girls, there would be some girls that had trauma that would feel like because men sleep with them, that that means that men like them. Or because men were lusting after them, or you know what I'm saying? That, oh, that means they really like me, when they don't. They just wanted to use them and they didn't have any respect for those women. I wish that men would understand that. And like I said, when he was speaking, it just made me feel so sick, because it's just like, wow, like you're really mentally unwell, and you don't even know you're unwell. Like you're unwell, and you don't even realize that. But anyway, yeah, it was hard to talk to him, but hopefully I can get another one up here, and I'm gonna try my best to reserve my disgust until they get out their thoughts.
I was just gonna say, and hey T, good morning, beautiful. I was going to say that I don't even give them a benefit of the doubt at this point. I'm gonna be honest, triggered. Because they're on this app every day saying that, oh, just because a man sleep with you don't mean you're important to them. A man will hit anything. So they absolutely already know that people just sleep with people because they want to. It's just degeneracy to me, and I never try. Once I realize whatever they're thinking is degeneracy, I don't become perplexed and trying to understand. I just relegate it to degeneracy. It's not supposed to be understood. It's degenerate. They're the same ones. That's why I can't really believe in that, because women want to sleep with them. It's their masculinity, but they're the first one to say every day on this app, just because somebody sleep with you doesn't mean anything. A
Well, I
man just
think
got to
they
get
think
his
that
thing
applies
over.
to women. I think they think that applies to women only. That men can do that with women and not like them, but I don't think they believe that women have um that same way that they can do that. You know how they say that whole BS about women are so emotional, and they can't do any of that. You know what I mean?
You know what? You're right. That's very true.
It's crazy. Go ahead, T. Did you have something to say? And good morning. Good to see both of y'all.
Hey, hey,
Morning.
good morning, good morning. I just give me a few minutes. I got the plumbers here, so just give me a second.
Okay, no problem. But yeah, y'all, I mean, I'm just hoping that, like I said, I can get a man up here, and that is exactly the same way as a guy that was up here. Like I said, I'm gonna try my best to reserve my disgust in order for them to get their thoughts out. And anybody listening,
Okay, I'm back.
okay,
Sorry,
cool.
sorry. Oh, girl, when you was talking, it reminded me of the dude that came up on another platform me and Supervillain was in yesterday. Girl, when I say defeat was not even a word, what this man was displaying, weak, just fear mongering, all of that. Supervillain was there. It was very, very like, huh? And
Word
it's
is
like he was trying
conquered.
conquered. They was all of that. Like he was so defeated. Like he was just telling us, like, okay, we just gonna have to give the we was talking about the, like, the community, the alphabet community. I don't want to say it, so I'll just say that. And he was saying that if they take away their rights, they we should just let them, the T people, use the bathroom, because if they don't get what they want, they're gonna like go against us, they're gonna become violent, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. So maybe you should just let them go into y'all bathroom with y'all. And we like, sir, what? Do you really want us to lay down and sacrifice our bodies because you are afraid to fight, because you are afraid to stand up for yourself? And he was like, but y'all don't understand how powerful they are. I don't know if that man was trolling. I don't know, because it's the idea that he was willing to actually ask us to just lay down and just let whatever happens to us in the restroom, so they won't supposedly rally up and start unaliving people, and and we should
Trigger.
just
It was
accept it. Yeah, go ahead, go
no
ahead.
T. It was the fact that he said we don't understand, and I'm like, we don't understand. Last time I checked, black women were getting their heads knocked off by black men every 4 to 5 unemployed business hours. So we absolutely understand, sir. What are you afraid of? We're the ones getting knocked off every 5 hours. So
Oh
that was the
yes.
weird part.
It was weird, and it was just, it wasn't even sad at this point. It was just pathetic, because it was just the idea that this dude was just saying like, all right, listen, just you cannot say something. And it just reminded me like in the slavery time, when they go, no, don't say nothing to massa. No, don't, you can't escape. You can't, like, come on. Like, it's just, and it's like all of this talk about we're protectors, we're the leaders, we're this. And the moment something is being, like, we have to challenge some real authority, they shrivel up and just show the first sign of weakness. Here we are in the front line, like, no, we willing to fight. And these dudes are basically in the back. And I'm like, all of it, like, you have all this smoke for us, but you have no smoke for another community that's threatening you. If it was black women saying that, okay, we need to get our rights, we need to get this, we need to do that, you will see everybody and their mama going against us. They will make sure there'll be no more black women to say anything else. But another community or what saying that they want this and they want this, who do you see they're saying, telling us, oh no, you just gonna have to just take it, you're gonna have to just, like, you don't understand what how scary thing is, like you gotta be careful out here, like trying to bring fear into us. It's just so pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. Like I said, what I'm hoping for is to, you know what? No. Let me ask y'all this. What, why do y'all think there's such a difference between black women and black men when it comes to accepting disrespect in the black community? Kind of going with the status quo as regards to racism, or attributing the fact that you're allowed to have intercourse with people of different races as you've made it in society, when what why do you think that these type of things seem to affect? And Supervillain already said that she feels like it's because they are hoping that they may be possibly be able to get up more because they're men. That's what Supervillain said. What do you think, T?
I definitely do agree. I That's why these men are pushing the fact that they're men versus women. They enjoy this gender war because that's the only way they can actually say that we basically gonna line up with the white T man. That's the only thing you got in common with these men, is the fact that you do have a male appendage. Other than that, you don't have nothing else in common. You think by joining this man's only club, that's supposed to get you in through the door, but that's not going to get you in no door. The only thing you're fighting for is to be their stepping stool. That's the only thing they're fighting for. So I personally do think that it's the fact that they want to replace, they would like to be the oppressor, but they would gladly be they lap dog. They would gladly be their little side piece. They'll be the oppressive side piece as long as they're not getting hurt, because I guess they're afraid to take an ass whooping at this point. Because I guess black women, we've been taking beatings for so long. We just Mike Tyson. Now we know we developed some fighting skills. Like, there's only one way. Like, that's how you know how to fight, is when you keep getting in that ring. Black women just keep getting in that ring, keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting, to the point like we used to it. We used to the battles. We used to adversity. We used to this. But as you can see, they've been coddled for so long that they don't even have the fight in them anymore. They don't have the fight. So that's my opinion.
That's something too triggered.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I totally agree with T. We definitely we're not new to this. We're true to this as black women. So much so that I even want to say misogyny is the original sin, right? Way before white supremacy was a thing, black men practiced misogyny. So of course they're always going to be used to uh, the disrespect of women, particularly their own, because again, I say this all the time, black men have betrayed black women way before chattel slavery was ever a thing. They occupied southern Spain for 800 years and practiced betrayal of black women. before white tea supremacy or white people even knew that we were white. So they're always going to be comfortable with misogyny or the disrespect of women over racism. They have almost a, I want to say 200-300 century start in practicing that.
Okay, all right. I think that we should be, I mean, I'm not saying that black women are more vocal already when it comes to issues surrounding the black community and also disrespect and stuff like this, but when I saw Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz, that Andrew Schultz was talking about, oh, you guys, it was just comedy. You guys are on the pictures of my family, talking about my family. So what? Who cares? That's what you get. If you don't want that to happen, maybe in the future you'll shut your mouth. But the fact that Charlemagne, and it was also a black woman there, who allowed herself to be used as a prop, was really disgusting to me, because when has he ever respected black women or cared about black women? But now all of a sudden that he needs your presence to make it look like what he's doing isn't that bad. Cause see, look, these two buck broken, something that rhymes with cartoons are willing to come up here and say that it's all fun and games. It's all hard, hardy har har. I just can't even believe that either of them allowed that to go on. I was just so disgusted. I don't know who the black woman was, never saw her before, but the fact that she was just sitting there like, like I just wanted to be like, what are you doing? Like it was just so disgusting. And I for one just feel like the best way to at least, if we can't stop the disrespect, black men don't want to be disrespected, fine. But I feel like in order for us to at least lay the groundwork and foundation for people to start putting respect on our name, is to call out all of the BS. And if there's a woman that is not on our side, like the lady, because I wouldn't look at her as a sister or like, because I feel like there are some black women that cannot come. They're mentally not ready to. They're not our friends. They may look like a sister, but they are not. Those women cannot come along in spaces where black women are trying to empower themselves. That woman is one that needs to be left behind, because there's no way you thought as a black woman that's a good look. Period. I don't care how much he paid you, if he paid you. I don't care what was said. You placing yourself in defense or even a small amount of protection, which is what you afforded him by coming as a black woman, that as somebody that is a white tea man that has disrespected black women a lot of different ways, there's something wrong with you. And I feel like you should essentially lose your sisterhood pass. And I think that these things that we do as black women moving forward to push forward black women and our protecting our image and gatekeeping who we are and all of these things, those people have to be excommunicated ASAP. I'm about to make a live about this. When I end this live, I'm gonna go and make another live on my main page. I saw somebody had tagged me in this stitch for the Janine Just a Girl. I don't know if y'all know who she is or not. She makes pick me content, like super pick me content, and the people that follow her are always super pick me's as well. Um she was saying, she made this live where she said, forgive one man 20 times or forgive 20 men 20 times, and started talking about how women should accept cheating, and you know, it's okay, the same old pick me rhetoric about. And then she was like, oh, and I would never cheat back, I would never do that. That's not the type of woman I am. Well, if you think that cheating or cheating back isn't a good look for you as a woman, and you're not that type of person, then why would you allow somebody else, a out for doing the same thing to you because they have a male genitalia? But anyway, I want to talk about that as well. Like, she is exactly a picture of a woman that is somebody that cannot come along, somebody that needs to be completely separated from us. You know what I'm saying?
Trigger. I laugh at that. Especially the women that say cheating should be okay, but they don't want to cheat because they say what men naturally need to sow their oats or something. So I always come back to, well, y'all say that women are naturally submissive. So when the woman was cheating with that other man, she was just being submissive because he was a leader. Like, the rhetoric never makes sense, and And that goes back to what you were saying earlier. How do we combat this? And sidebar, I'm trying to convince T to do a podcast with me, because if you hear our voice notes to each other, you would laugh so much, and we drop so much jewels. We gotta come back to we gotta combat the terrible rhetoric. I'm just gonna give an example real quick. I believe it was yesterday. I can't remember, or the day before yesterday. It was a live discussion about. I don't know if y'all know that girl Kaya Cooks, beautiful young black woman who
Yeah.
cooks meals
Yeah,
for her
cooking with
husband.
Kaya.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
Yeah,
her.
she's a
something.
cute. I don't see what was the problem. Why? What
I
was
Me
the
neither.
problem with?
I don't either, but I'm gonna say this. It wasn't even specifically that subject. It was the man who responded, because of course they're always going to try to triangulate older women with younger women. So he was saying, oh, the women who are complaining about this are just old bitter biddies who don't have a man to cook for and stuff like that. And I just we were talking about it in the panel, and I just said, well, it's really perspective. Everybody's going to be mad about something, whether it's good or bad, because I said just how, like, the man said in the video, the response video, that his wife shows him, how much he loves her, how much she loves him by cooking, cleaning, and doing all, doing everything in the household. I said, well, there are equally men who love their wife so much that they have a house staff for their wife. They don't want their wife to do anything but get her nails done and her hair done. So does that mean those men don't, love their wife because she's not cooking, cleaning, and, like, it's all perspective. But my thing is, they try to triangulate women's labor. You're trying to make it look like women who don't, quote unquote, slave, and I'm not going to say slave because some women do enjoy that, and that's their choice, right? Some women love being homemakers. That's their choice. But every woman's not going to be a homemaker. That doesn't mean she doesn't love her man, because equally, the way a woman will take care of a household because she loves her husband is the same way a man who has the money, by the way, will employ house staff for a woman he loves so she doesn't have to do anything. It is really about perspective.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Yes, he does. Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback on that. I witness it all the time when I drop my niece off at her school. I be seeing the nannies, and I'm thinking that like, there's a possibility that some of these women are possibly single mothers or whatever the case may be. No, they husbands be right there with the nanny, and I'll be saying to myself, like, yeah, these are they love their wives. And then you see the baby be newborn babies, so they make sure their wives are not stressed out. They hire nannies for them so they can take care of the baby and everything, so the wife can rest. That's showing that you care about the well-being and the mental state of your wife. But of course, like, you will have those misogynistic men that will sit there and say, oh no, that's what she's supposed to do. That's what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to be just taking care of her baby. But see, like, that's not being a mother right there, even though they don't know they don't even know or understand what it is to be a parent. A woman is specifically going through postpartum and everything like that. So I mean, you have men that's like, even like what Supervillain said, like, they don't want their women to cook. Like, somebody like my fiance, he loves to cook. He's an older man that loves to cook. He prefer to be doing all the cooking than me to be cooking. I can literally say he never tried not one meal that I made. Only thing he had tried was a banana pudding that I made. That was it. I made banana pudding for Thanksgiving last year. That was the only thing he tried. Anything else, he didn't try any of my cooking, because that is what he likes doing. And he likes to, like, basically, he likes to hit being flattered on how good his food is, you know? And it's funny how these men will say all the time, it's not all men. It's not all men. And then when we talk about, and specifically decent, good men that treat women well, in their minds, they go, well, no, that's fake. That's not true. You're lying. How are we lying when you said that not all men are the same? It's not all men. And then when we talk about the type of men that we actually like, y'all call them simps. Y'all call them suckers. You call them stupid. like no, the only thing they like to hear is a woman being subservient to a man. And they don't want to hear not 1 inch of them. They don't want to hear not one time a man being good to a woman, because they don't believe in that. They don't believe a man should be good to a woman.
All right, T. All right, I'm gonna go up here to Jacardi. Go ahead, Jacardi. You can
Hey,
talk
good
about
morning,
any of
y'all.
the topics if you want on the screen.
All right, thank you. Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
So I wanted to go off of, I believe that was T Scorpio that was just speaking, and how you were. I really do 100% agree with you on, when it comes down to, you know, men are like, men are very like, they're worried about themselves and what they're getting out of a relationship a lot, especially in, like, I don't know if y'all seen like that trending TikTok video where they took the American men and they took some Russian men and asked, like, about taking care of your wife, and all the American men's answers sounded like, well, it just depends. What does she do for
Yeah,
me?
I
What am
saw
I
that.
getting?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw
But
it.
all the Russian men are like, it's my wife. Like, duh, I'm going to take care of her. Like, they were just saying it like it's just like common sense. Like, duh. Like, this is my wife. That's my job, is to provide, to protect. Of course. Right. So it's a overall American culture. Like, it's an American cultural thing that's like honestly like ruined, in my eyes, what what men think that they should be in a relationship. Like, it's honestly just American culture, because it's allowed men to go into a relationship, or correction, it's allowed boys to go into a relationship thinking that just because of their age they are a man, but they don't know what the proper duties of a man in a relationship are. They don't understand how important their role is to their woman. They don't understand how important their role is to their children. They don't understand the the responsibility of being a man in a relationship. And so that's why we get a lot of disrespect. And that's why a lot of black women get the disrespect from men in relationships. And I'm specifically saying black women because, and this is just based off of my experiences. This is based off of what I see, what I hear, what I learn. Black women are the scapegoats for every relationship that's like, just like, anytime you hear, whether it be a black man or a white man or whatever, it's always them trying to talk shit about black women. But if you really go to the source of it, it's them treating black women like shit, because that's what society has allowed them to do. Society has allowed them to treat women like shit, period, but they specifically target black women because it's easier to do so. So, I mean, it all comes down to the fact that it's what American culture has normalized. It's what American culture has normalized as, well, you're an adult, so you should take care of yourself in a relationship too. You're an adult, so you should be able to take care of your kids and yourself and your husband, you know. And this expectation is only expected from black women.
Okay. All right, Jacardi. All right. I think Supervillain, did you have something to say in response to that? Did you hold up your hand?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
Triggered. And I'm gonna just say this, and it may not be intentional, but sometimes a lot of bullshit is put in between protecting black women, and I'm gonna just always call shit out when I hear it. I'm gonna number one say it's not an American culture thing; it's a broke man culture thing. Because I'm gonna tell you, actively right now, they're doing a documentary, and this is from my mother country. Nigerian men are the number one romance scammer right now. They're literally doing a documentary on Nigerian men being romance scammers. I don't know if you know what romance scammers are, but they're men who pretend to be in love with women so they can get married and either get like visas or some type of obtain some type of funds. Those that's not American culture. These are Nigerian men, some of the most misogynistic men on the planet doing these things. So again, it's not American culture, it is broke men culture, because also in other countries where the majority of people are impoverished, right? The women work. The women are providers. The men just take the credit. These are families that are dirt poor who have like 6, 7, 8 children. These men don't even have the autonomy or the discernment to think maybe I shouldn't be knocking up my wife because I can't feed 4 kids, but I'm gonna go ahead and impregnate her with 8. It is not an American culture. It is most definitely a broke men's culture. So I have to, and I'm not one who stands up for men because I am a separatist feminist, but I have to call bullshit out when I hear it. And I don't think it was intentional, but I think it's a big misunderstanding or misinterpretation. It's a not American culture thing. It is most definitely a broke man culture thing because men outside of America are also practicing the same mentality. They only disguise it with misogyny, but their women are working. If you go to these countries and go into the village, the women are. It's all the women working the shops and the stores. It's not a lot of the men are at home. They're not even doing anything. So I just want to throw that out there. I yield, Trigger.
Okay, you guys. All right. So what I'm gonna do is because I think we have it's not that we've exhausted the topics on the screen. It's just that I don't feel like we'll be able to um delve deeper into the topic unless we have some men on the platform that are in the box that are those type of men. And the guy that was here, I didn't drop him. He just left because he said that he had just got off work, which was fine. And besides, he tried to play like he didn't know what was going on with Andrew Schultz, only to expose that he probably did know. And anyway, so I think that I would like to have this discussion further, but maybe like in a few days I'll try to do it on my main page, and hopefully maybe I can get some more men up there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end this particular live. I'm gonna go I've been fasting now for 36 hours, so I do alternate day fasting, y'all. So I'm going to make me something to eat, and then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do a live on my main page, y'all. T and Super Villain. I'll probably be back in like 30 minutes. I'm gonna do a live on what I said about pick me's, and that first of all, pick me's must be stopped. But number two, the fact that we have to realize that there are some women that just can't come along. We gotta separate because it's just those women are wreaking havoc amongst the black women that have sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, and thanks, Jacardi, for coming up. SD, you said my main page. My main page is Unpopular Opinions Black Woman, BLKWMN. And if y'all like me or whatever, y'all can, this page or the main page, y'all can just click on my bio, and my YouTube link is in there. You can follow me on YouTube if you like. But yeah, so I'll be back, y'all. I promise I'll be back, and hopefully T and Super Villain, y'all be able to make it because I would love to hear from y'all perspective because I know y'all got a lot to say about
Yeah.
some.
Girl, girl,
I'll be there, honey.
listen.
All right,
Yep,
all right.
don't worry, I'll be there.